Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome back to yet another episode here with me, your host, Dallin Hawes. It is great, as always, to spend a little time with you, and I hope that this episode will bring you tremendous value, and I'm confident that it will. And today we're talking about the TSP Millionaire Next Door. Now, I've touched on this subject in the past, but it's been a long time, and I feel like the principles we talk about today are so crucial to being successful in retirement because, as you know, especially as a FERS federal employee, that your TSP is crucial to retire confident because that's a huge part of your retirement plan. That's the part that you have the most control over. Your pension's great, but you have limited control over it. Social Security's great, but you have limited control over it. Your TSP, now that is a lot more controllable. Now you can't control the stock market, you can't control some elements of it, but you have so much more control of where you put the money, how much you save, and tons of elements just like that. And so today we're talking about six things. Six things from the book, The Millionaire Next Door. And this book, when it came out, was revolutionary because it said, hey, the vast majority of millionaires are not the celebrities on TV. The vast majority of millionaires are normal-looking people. Normal-looking people that do abnormal things, that do above-average things, which make them millionaires. Okay, now, before I dig into the six things, one thing I always have to say with this type of topic is I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you have $0 in your TSP just starting out or if you have $5 million in your TSP. I don't care. And you shouldn't either. What you have to focus on is what you're going to do after this video. Okay? Don't beat yourself up. Don't do that. Focus, okay, maybe I'm not where I want to be. What should I do starting today to get there? To where I want to be. Set goals. Be willing to work hard, right? But don't beat yourself up for what you did or didn't do in the past. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. There's six things, like I said, that millionaires consistently do, and this is from the research from the book, The Millionaire Next Door. Check it out, Google it, it'll pop right up. It's a phenomenal read. I recommend it for everyone. So, number one, it seems obvious that it is live within your means. Basically, your income is going to be greater than your expenses all the time, or that's how it should be. Now, that means that if you do have debts, mortgages aren't necessarily bad, but credit cards, you want to get those paid off. Of course, it means that you're spending way less than you could actually afford, right? You could afford to pay your credit cards off every month, easy peasy. Okay? You want to live way within your means to give you the flexibility to achieve wealth, which is the millionaire status, right? That's number one, and that's just the baselines. Hey, live within your means, but we have to mention it because it's so crucial and foundational to everything else. Okay, number two, and this one I feel is really, really important. So let's say the average millionaire spends more than two times as much time and energy on financial planning, on thinking about their finances and planning for the future, okay? So what that tells me is that these people not only do the things that help them become millionaires and build wealth, but they actually spend time learning about the things that will help them get there, right? No one's a born natural, no one's a born millionaire, right? Well, actually some people are, but these millionaires that I'm talking about that are in the book called The Millionaire Next Door, these people are not born millionaires. They're not given money from their parents, right? So that's huge. They learn the skills and the things necessary to build wealth, right? And honestly, you being here, you're learning, which is great. This is a great place to be, to invest in yourself, to learn about how to get the most out of your benefits and retire confident as a federal employee. So keep it up. You're on the right track. Next, number three. These people, these millionaires that we're studying in this book, they found that they valued freedom, financial freedom, more than they valued fancy stuff, right? The glitzy stuff, the super fancy car, the really big fancy house, right? And these things aren't bad. Nice cars aren't bad. fancy houses aren't bad. And some of the millionaires that they looked at really had those things, right? But they realized that underneath everything else, the first thing that they valued was financial freedom. And once financial freedom was attained, then some of them did get the nice cars, the nice houses, but only after they reached financial freedom. They valued that more than the fancy stuff, which is a great lesson for us all. All right, number 4, and I touched on this already, but they found that these millionaires that followed these principles, they actually did not receive money from their parents, right? Oftentimes when we think of wealthy people, we say, hey, I'm sure they just received it from their parents, a trust fund baby, whatever. I'm sure they didn't earn it themselves. But these people studying in this book of the average millionaire, they worked hard. They did not receive cash from their parents to make them wealthy. They did it themselves, which I think is really a confidence booster for all of us to say, hey, regardless of your background, regardless of your parents, you can do it too, right? That's huge, 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 huge. Okay, number 5. On average, these millionaires, they invest at least 20% of their income for the future, right? And for you as a federal employee, a good place potentially is your TSP, right? And there, of course, is a max on how much you can invest in your TSP, but there's other ways to invest, whether it's in IRAs, whether it's just in a brokerage account. There's lots of ways to save and invest, right? Now, again, I have to emphasize that I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're saving 5%, 20%, 25%, but what I do care about is what you're going to do after this video. And I don't expect you to just change overnight. It's hard to increase, let's say, your TSP contributions overnight. Take baby steps, okay? What I don't want to happen, I don't want you to get discouraged and then don't do anything. That's what I don't want that to happen. What I want you to do is say, hey, maybe I'm not where I want to be or where I should be or need to be, but what can I do a little better today? Maybe you're investing 3%. Okay, let's invest 4%. What can you do to improve at least a little bit and do it consistently and over time? The difference will be tremendous. So start today, do something regardless of where you're at. And I know the 20% mark for some, for the millionaires can be a high bar for some people. If it's not a high bar for you, great. How can you improve? Just a little bit. Improve just a little bit, and over time, the results will be astounding. Okay, next, number 6. This is the last one that I found from this book. And then there's, I'm sure, tons more principles, but these 6 I thought were most applicable for you as federal employees. So number 6 is, hey, they invested for the long run. Okay? They did not, the vast majority of them did not do day trading. They didn't do the short-term investing that some people get into. They invested for the long term. They bought and hold and stuck in the market, right? They understood the numbers of just staying in and not worrying about the ups and downs over time. And I think as federal employees, that's huge. And the TSP is an incredible tool, especially if you have a long-term plan. And the market's going to go up and down. It's been going up for a long time, but it's going to go down. There's going to be more volatility. There's going to be issues. But as long as you have a long-term plan that makes sense for your retirement, stick it out. Stick it out. Keep investing. Keep saving. Doing all these things consistently and over time, the results will be astounding. And is it going to be $1 million in your TSP? I don't know. Maybe. There are plenty of TSP millionaires out there that follow these principles. But it depends where you're at. Depends how far you are through your career. Depends how much time you have. But regardless, do what you can. Even if you're retired, right? Even if you're already retired, what can you do to be a little more prepared, right? Or if you say, hey, I'm actually totally financially free, I'm good to go. Perfect. What can you do to improve your life, right? I'm not saying everyone has to save more, but do something. Do something every day to just improve something. And over time, your life is vastly different, vastly better than it was before. So that is the TSP Millionaire next door that you can be, okay? Given that you follow these principles, do your best and invest consistently over time. So I hope that was helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. I'll see you next time.